Hi everyone, this is Leah at the Race Center and Tyler from the Recreation Department, and we are out in some slightly damp weather, as hopefully you are. And we are now going to talk a little bit about the Internet of the Woods. So have at it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Leah. So last time we were talking about those the tridivores, the swimming around little water bears and stuff like that. But we also mentioned that the fungus and the mushrooms and fungal networks play a role in breaking down some of the forest products into usable nutrients. And today, just wanted to explore that idea a bit further. And so, right here on this piece of tree that has fallen on the ground, you can see there are some of the fruiting bodies that are starting to pop up here. This shelf fungus. Oh, actually, there you go. You can see underneath them.
Bunch.
So a lot of the mushrooms, these ones not so much because they're growing on this one log, but when there's like a toadstool style mushroom that pops up from the soil, we mentioned before that that's actually just one element of a vast network. So the fungus has this mycorrhizal network, which are these threads that surround the roots of the plants and go all throughout the soil. And they can become very, very small, much smaller than the plant's roots. And so they will actually work together with the trees and other organisms in the soil. And what they do is the trees will actually sometimes produce excess sugars from their photosynthesis, and they will feed those sugars to the fungus. And they don't just do that because like the trees are kind, which that can be argued that they are in fact, but they get something out of it because the fungus is able to get the threads grow finer. They can actually fit in between plant cells. So sort of like if you imagine wedging some smaller thing between a bicycle tube and the tire surrounding it, that's where those little threads can fit. And so they're able to access nutrients that aren't available to the plant. So they're able to pull phosphorus and magnesium out of the soil and make those available to the trees. Interesting thing, I mean, that's interesting anyway. The interesting thing is that those fungal networks connect one plant to another, and trees of the same species to each other, and trees of different species to each other. And so there's a scientist named Suzanne Simard who's from British Columbia, and she had this idea of thinking about the trees together and the whole. This is amazing. It is raining pretty good right now. About how the things are connected, and especially in that area where there's a lot of logging, people think about like this tree is this tree, and this species is good for lumber or whatever. And she was taking a broader view and has transformed the way that people look at the forest generally. This idea of mother trees. So the oldest trees in the forest will actually be sending nutrients, chemical messages to younger trees. And so I'm going to stay up right there. So even times where, if there's an emerald ash borer infestation, trees will start to produce more seeds. And even though they're not anywhere near where the infestation is, that messaging is traveling underground through the soil to the trees. And so when they are stressed, when there's a year when a bunch of oaks, they have a mast here, sometimes it's because there are stresses in another part of the woods that messaging is traveling around. So there's this whole interconnected web that is right beneath our feet. and it is just like, the more you look into it, I definitely recommend, she has written a book called The Mother Tree or something like that, but there's a great New York Times article. Definitely look into it. It's like, the deeper you go, the more there is to find. Just amazing. Oh, the largest living organism on Earth is a mushroom in Oregon, in the Malheur National Forest, and it's somewhere between 2,000 and 8,000 years old, and it covers over 2,000 acres. So there are these, the fruiting bodies that pop up here.